In this video, we're going to talk about the weird graph of y equals x raised to the x. So this is an online graphing calculator at desmos.com. And you can graph any function with this website. You can graph the linear function y equals x squared, trigonometric functions like sine x or tangent x. But what we want to focus on is this one, x to the x. And we get something that looks like that. Now, one thing I want to mention for those of you who may want to graph this function yourself, if you're going to use this website, you may want to use a very large monitor. Because when I try to minimize the screen, for some reason, this website will only show the upper portion of the graph and not the lower portion. So just wanted to let you know about that. But now here's some questions for you. Why are some of the values positive on the left side of the y-axis and some of the values negative? Why do we see some values below the x-axis while others are above the x-axis? And also, on the left side of the graph, why is it discontinuous, but it's continuous on the right side? We're going to answer those questions shortly. So here's a rough sketch of that same graph. Now, it's continuous on the right because we can plug in any positive value for x. For instance, if we plug in 1, 1 to the first power is 1. If we plug in 2, 2 squared is 4. If we plug in 3, 3 to the third power is not 9, but 27. So we can plug in anything, any positive number, and we're going to get an output. Now, the situation is not the same when plugging in a negative number. For instance, if you have your calculator with you, try plugging in negative 0.1 raised to the negative 0.1 power. Negative 0.1 raised to the negative 0.1 will give you an error. The question is why? Why do we get an error when we plug this in? Negative 0.1 raised to the negative 0.1 is 1 over negative 0.1 raised to the positive 0.1. To get rid of the negative exponent, you need to move this number in the denominator of the fraction. Now, 0.1 as a decimal is 1 over 10 as a fraction. Now, converting that fractional exponent into a radical, we get 1 over the 10th root of negative 0.1. Because this index number is even, we're going to get an imaginary number, not a real number. So we can get an imaginary number like I or something. And that's why we see the discontinuity on the left. Because some negative values will not exist. It won't give us a real number output. So that's why it's discontinuous on the left side of the graph. However, we do get some values. Not all values on the left are imaginary numbers. For instance, if we plug in negative 0.2 raised to the negative 0.2 into our calculator, this is the value that we're going to get. This is going to be negative 1.3797, and then there's some more numbers. So that's going to be somewhere in this region. So let's say that's this point here. So why do we get an actual number in this case? Well, first, let's move this number to the bottom to change the negative exponent into a positive one. This is equivalent to 1 over negative 0.2 raised to the positive 0.2. Now, 0.2 as a fraction is 1 over 5. And so we can write this as the 5th root of negative 0.2. Now, it's important to understand that when you take the square root of a negative number, like the square root of negative 4, you're going to get an imaginary number, not a real number. And that's the case anytime you have an even index number. But if the index number is odd, you'll get a real number. The cube root of negative 8 is negative 2. So the cube root of the 5th root of negative 0.2 will give us a real negative value. And so that's why we have some values below the x-axis, because we're going to get a negative output for some of these numbers. Now, what about the positive numbers? What are some situations where we can get a positive result? Let's plug in this number, negative 0.4 raised to the negative 0.4 power. And you should get positive 1.44267 if you round it. So this is a number that would be somewhere in this region. It's above the x-axis on the left. Now let's see why we get a positive answer for this particular number. So negative 0.4 raised to the negative 0.4 power, that's 1 over negative 0.4 raised to the positive 0.4 power. Now what is 0.4 as a fraction? To convert a decimal to a fraction, you can multiply it by 10 over 10. 0.4 times 10 is 4, so we get 4 over 10. 4 is 2 times 2. 10 is 2 times 5. So if we cancel a 2, this is 2 over 5. So we can write this as negative 0.4 raised to the 2 over 5. Now let's convert the fractional exponent into a radical. So this is going to be the fifth root of negative 0.4 squared. Now, the square is going to make the negative 0.4 value positive. Negative 0.4 squared is, well, we can write this as a fraction. It's 4 over 25, which is 0.16. And then 0.16 raised to the 1 over 5, or the fifth root of 0.16, gives us this number, 0.6931448. And so 1 over that will give us 1.4427. So that's why we get a positive number, is because we can turn this decimal into a fraction where the numerator is even and the denominator is odd. When the numerator is even, it will cause the negative value to become positive. And so that's why we're going to get a number above the x-axis. And so that's it for this particular type of graph. So just to recap, the reason why the curve of y equals x to the x is continuous on the right is because we can plug in any positive value for x. We can plug in 3 to the third, 4 to the fourth, 5 to the fifth, 0.5 to the 0.5, and we're always going to get a positive result. Now the reason why it's discontinuous on the left side is because for certain values, we're going to get an imaginary number. We're not going to get a real number. Now the reason why it's negative for some values is because we can convert this decimal into a fractional exponent like 1 over 5 or maybe 1 over 7 or 1 over 9. And for those values, you're going to get a negative result. And the reason why some values are positive is because we can get a fraction that is even in a numerator, like 2 over 5, for instance, or let's say 3 over 7 if you use, not 3 over 7, but like 4 over 7. And so that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it to be educational and informative. And for those of you who want more videos on interested in mathematical topics, make sure to check out the links in the description section below. I'm going to be posting a few other videos related to math and some that are not really related to math but are still interesting as well. So that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and also click on that notification bell as well.